Welcome to Home's Room. Just like Homeroom, we start off our day getting together with our homies, swapping stories, even a little kiss and tell action. This podcast contains language not suitable for younger listeners, topics about sex and mental health. Discretion is advised. Our views are our own. Let class begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Home's Room, and this is our second annual Boss Babe series interviews, so that's fun. And we have another one where I'm joined with my lovely co-host Kaitlin. What's up, Kaitlin?
What up, man? I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks. How are you?
I'm not throwing up, so that's good. I was super sick, so we skipped recording for a couple weeks, and then afterwards Kennedy is of the age to drive, so we had to go to a meeting to get her in driver's ed, so I had to go to that, so I couldn't record when I was feeling better. So yeah. But
you canceled because you were feeling sick, and then literally the next day I went into urgent care to get a steroid shot and antibiotics myself, so I totally understand. Tis the season for kids to be bringing home a new string of Black Plague from daycare and school, so
well, I work in a school, so I just get it. I'm in the petri dish with them.
Yep.
But speaking of with, we have a guest with us, and I'm super excited about this one because I don't interview my friends very often, so this one's gonna be cool. Today we have mom of two, wife, devoted daughter, sister, and recently grad of nursing school, certified boss babe, as well as one of my now like oldest friends, I guess, but it wasn't always that way, right? What's up, Angie?
Hey, how's it going?
We are super excited to do the series again for all of the reasons I listed, but like when I think about a boss babe, I think about somebody that is always grinding for themselves and the people around them, their kids, all that kind of stuff, and finding their way to like keep themselves at least above water enough, and I think that's you, so hopefully that's a compliment.
Yes, it is. It hasn't been easy, even though I try to make it look easy.
So big question, because it's me and I'm a car guy. How's the new car treating you? Did you
Oh my
count that
gosh.
as self-care?
Yes, it is 100% self-care. I love it. I changed my location actually because Kimmy said it would not be good lighting since it was getting dark outside, but I would live in it right now if I could. Absolutely love it.
All right. So Charger RT, what year is it?
It is a 2023. It is the like last edition, if you will. Under the hood, there is a plate or a plaque that says last call. And instead
That's
of on
awesome.
the front fenders, instead of it saying Hemi, it says 345. So
I like it. That's cool.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I've been waiting to like actually say congratulations because we had this set up. So like wanted to say it in pseudo person. Congratulations.
Right. Thank you.
So we'll start out on like the heavier thing and like work our way to like lighter stuff. But
Okay.
here we love here we like to send love to members of the Dead Parents Club, and like you lost your dad and recently lost an aunt, and Kaitlin is well versed in that. So Kaitlin, what's the thing that you feel like is most welcoming to a space for somebody that's in that club you've dubbed?
Absolutely. I am very open and public with my grief journey of being a member of the Dead Parents Club ×2. The first thing that I always ask another fellow griever is, what is the name of your dad, Angie, if you don't mind sharing?
My dad's name is Floyd. He is the senior. Yes. I also have a brother named Floyd. But yes, Floyd Sr. is my dad.
How long ago did you lose Floyd, Angie?
He passed away in August of 2019.
Okay.
So it'll be 5 years this year.
Does it feel like 5 years?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Completely understand. Yeah. And then you also, unfortunately, recently lost an aunt as well. Were you very close with her? What was her name?
I was really close with her. It was actually my dad's sister. Her name was Janet. I helped with her healthcare for the last like 3-ish years.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so I was very involved with her after the passing of my dad. We kind of helped each other through the grief journey. So,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So it was not just an aunt relationship, it was like caretaker as
yeah.
well,
Hmm.
which Matt floated you as somebody to interview for the Boss Babes, our second iteration of the series. And I'm like, nursing school, kids, dead parents club. Like, holy crap, Angie sounds awesome. Absolutely, we need to have her on.
Yeah, I'm kind of a jack of all trades, master of none, is my saying. So,
Love it.
Well, wait, you're a master of it. You're mastering at least one because you made it
right.
through nursing school, which is not an easy task. But from parents to kids, you have an 11 and a 17-year-old, and I remember when she was a tiny little thing sitting on my foot at you guys' first apartment. And what's the thing you look back on? Or you look back at now and wish you had taken more time to appreciate about that time because you know where you are now.
I wish I would have appreciated like all of like having friends around all the time. As we get older and we kind of find our paths and our niches in life, like it, you kind of lose those friends along the way. Like not necessarily lose them, but everyone's kind of doing their own thing. They don't have time to come and hang out and just have a.
Yep, you're
Mhm.
good.
Okay,
The,
there was a countdown. Sorry. Um, so I just wish I would have appreciated that time more. But being young and a new mom, like it wasn't ideal hanging out all the time. So it's kind of like I wish I could have that now that she's older because I feel like it would be appreciated more.
yeah. That's I think every parent kind of has that like, oh, you're big now. Like I know my 14-year-old about to be 15-year-old. It's like
Hmm.
I I miss when she used to just come and sit next to me for like 5 minutes, and now it's like if she comes and sits next to me for 5 minutes, it's like uh what do you want kind of thing, not a not
What's
not
wrong?
exactly, yeah. No, it's usually what do you want, and it's like, can I play Xbox, or I need more paint, or I need
Mm,
more canvases, so, or can I use this technology you've acquired that I don't have.
Right. Or I want food. Like I need
Yeah,
Subway
yeah,
right now.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
um so you have two kids, and you also are lucky, and you have a girl and a boy. I don't get lucky and have a girl and boy. I have two girls. So you know what is the differences and approach for each kid, and you two can bond over this, and I'll just sit here quietly.
Well, I feel like they are literally they're polar opposites, but they have a bond that is unimaginable. I don't know what it's like to have two children of the same sex. I would definitely say Kiara is my firm, like tough kid, and Corbin is my little softie, and he's a little cuddle bug. So, which you wouldn't think, you'd think it'd be the opposite. So,
I also have a boy and a girl. My daughter is the oldest. Is your daughter also the oldest?
yes, yep.
It's a very interesting dynamic. You are much further along in the game, so please, any advice or tips on how to retain some semblance of sanity? I would really, really pay really good money to hear that out of your mouth, Angie. But I have a 2.5-year-old daughter and a 1.5-year-old son, and they're finally to the age where they're like fighting
Oh
and
no.
like my daughter had Teddy Grahams and was handing them to my 1.5-year-old son saying, say please, say thank you. And it's just like very cute and bringing me an entirely new layer of like emotional availability as a mother to watch them interact.
Hmm.
Um, do you still have that while did you ever have that same kind of feeling, or um do you still have that now that your kids are older?
I feel like I have it more so now, because my kids are 5, basically 6 years apart. So there wasn't like that really close in age, like compatibility, if you will. But now that they're older, like Corbin just had surgery last week, and Kiara was very concerned about him, and she was like, how is he doing? Because she wasn't at the hospital with us. And she like got him a treat. She was out with some friends and she got him a treat. And so when he got home, he had a new pair of socks with not penguins, pigeons on them.
That's really,
Because he
really
likes
sweet.
pigeons. Yeah. So she does help out a lot, and she's always said from early childhood that she doesn't want any kids. And just seeing her with him is enough for me to like know that even if she doesn't want kids, like their bond and like her like relationship with him and like mothering it, if you will, is there when he needs it. So
Yeah. She's 17 and she says that she for
yes.
sure knows that she does not want kids.
Yes. She's been saying it since she was about 4. She was like, Mom, I don't want any kids. And I was like, girl, keep that. Because I also said that. And then here I am, 2 kids deep. So,
Also, in today's economy, for a 17-year-old, like all of us, we can't even count on Social Security to be a part of our retirement
right,
formula, let alone a 17-year-old. Oh my
right.
goodness. That's
Yeah.
so interesting.
Yeah.
So you just kind of said it, 17 years old, which means you had to have had a kid 17 years ago.
Yeah.
That is something that is part of what made me want to talk to you, because a lot of people would say that, you and your husband were both still kids yourselves
hmm
and just graduated high school. What was that moment like for you when you guys found out?
Well, fun fact, not many people know this, but I found out I was pregnant 2 months before we graduated high school. It was um heart stopping when I found out. I was like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? Kenny was also like, what are we gonna do? Like, we obviously haven't been preparing. We're kids. We're like trying to live life and everything like that. And we just started saving the best we could with our minimum wage jobs. I think he was making $7 an hour. I was probably making like, I think I was a waitress at the time, so I was making like 2.25 an hour plus tips. Um, we moved out together in the fall of graduating. So we graduated in '06. So we moved in together that fall. I was 6 months pregnant into our first apartment, and we've been grinding ever since.
Yeah. Own a house, all of those things still
Yep.
together. And
Yep.
I think that's one of the reasons why, like I said, I wanted to have you on, is because the statistics stacked against you were like, I mean, 1 in a million kind of shot. And
hmm
I've watched you two grow together, and I've watched you come into the person that, was before us now, and strong, and, like I said, devoted mom, devoted sister, devoted, like all of those things that, when we first met, might not have been at the forefront. And I think that, the fact that you guys have been grinding ever since, but still somehow continued to have fun and continued to, be good examples. And I don't know about the two of you, but I know for me, I want to grow up with my kids, because those moments of us growing, it's like I can't be as mad at you for doing something that I didn't prepare you for, or I didn't understand was going to be an
hmm
issue. I don't know if you both agree with that or not.
I 100% agree. Something Kenny tells me all the time, he was like, the kids think they're smarter than us. They think that we don't know what we're talking about. He's like, but we're not that much older than them. He's like, we're already 5 steps ahead of them. And I've already thought about what they've already thought about. So we try to beat them at the punch, which is kind of fun.
That is pretty fun. Um, so quick question, and she asked
Mhm.
it earlier, so like we're just gonna straight up ask it as bluntly as possible. Do you have any parenting advice?
Oh man. I'm a very big person on like promises, and like I don't say something unless I 100% mean it. I don't say I'm going to do something unless I'm 100% going to do it. It's because kids put all of their weight in one basket. And if you're constantly like, oh, well, we can't do this today or we can't do that tomorrow, I'm always like, well, maybe we'll see. I never give like a for sure answer on something. I'm always like, we'll see, because life happens and there's a lot of variability in that. And so I try to like leave it up for the universe, because what goes up must come down. And I don't want to have to be the person that's like, oh, sorry, we can't do that. And then they're mad at me for who knows how long, because kids hold grudges.
Yeah, they do. I'm without kids tonight because we're going to the Casey Current game tomorrow. Like they're at my mom's house, and Lincoln wanted to stay here, and she was royally ticked that she could not just stay here. I was like, "Look, mom's not here. I'm recording. We have like you're going to be bored all night if you stay here and your sister goes." So she reluctantly went, and she gave me the death glare the
Oh
entire
gosh.
time she got her stuff ready. So
I can see it now. I can totally see it. She's had it since she was a baby.
All right. Uh, I'm going to ask this question and give a little context before we talked about you being a parent and all that kind of stuff. But uh, I just want to, I guess, get your side of our friendship and the strange turn, I guess, that it took, because originally we butted heads and I thought it was like the craziest thing, and then I have a comment about like what changed my mind on you as a person um a little bit later, but I want to hear your side of it.
Well, I mean, it's been like 2 decades, Matt.
It
So,
has.
my brain is not as young as it once was. So I just remember we would sit together at lunch and we would like shoot the shit. Like me, you, Brent, and Kenny, and maybe a few other people. I honestly can't remember, but I feel like it was mainly us four.
Hmm.
And I just remember one day you made a trailer park comment at lunch, and I like lost my shit. And
Yeah.
I was like, man, I was like, this guy doesn't get it. But then after that, like, Kenny was like going to like some of your house parties and stuff, and I was inevitably pregnant, and like, yay, DD, be sober. um, so, just I think being around you more and of a less formal setting, um, let me get to know like the real you and not just like school you.
Yeah.
Um, and you're one of my favorite people. So yeah.
um I asked that because I was hoping that you would bring that up, and that is when we talk about a tweet from like 20 years ago getting brought up, uh the way a person can change, and the things that somebody might not realize don't track contextually with somebody else. And that's
Mhm.
what this podcast is about in its nature, is giving people a place to talk and hearing opposing views possibly, or things that somebody might have found not supportive or might find supportive, and that
Mhm.
makes it so much better of a environment. And after I found out why you did, like, you had like this, like, not grudge, but like this disdain for me at the time, I was like, damn. And I don't remember what I said necessarily, but I remember instantly being like, damn, that was super boneheaded of me to say. And it I like it opened my eyes to like a whole different world of like understanding. And that thing is what I love. I love being around that. I love fostering those environments. And Kaitlin and I have had those conversations, I don't know how many times, where it's like, damn, I would have never thought about it that way, but because you
Mhm.
said it. So, how do you
Well,
feel about hearing that, Kaitlin?
also solidarity to you, Matt, because it's almost daily that I have a moment where I'm like, man, I really just stuck my foot in my mouth. So, Angie, you went to nursing school.
Mhm.
How long has it been since you graduated?
I officially graduated with my ADN in December of 2023. I tested for my boards in January 2024. I took the minimum questions, which is 85 questions. I did
Mhm.
it in 40 minutes. I'm pretty proud of that. I'm a speed
Yeah.
tester.
Holy
It's called
crap.
anxiety. Yeah. So I walked out of there and was like, what did I just do? Because that test, there is no way of knowing if you passed or failed, because it's literally a hodgepodge of any and every question you can think. So I left, and of course, I'm super smart, and I tested on a Friday, and they don't release results for 48 business hours.
Oh God.
So that was fun. I guess I'm a glutton for punishment, is what I like to say. So I had to wait the 48 hours, and then I got my quick results, and I had passed. So yeah,
Congratulations.
thank
At what
you.
point in your like journey in adulthood did nursing school start to sound interesting to you?
Well, another fun fact, I used to want to be a mortician. So kind of polar opposite of being a nurse, right? So straight out of high school, I put myself into massage therapy school, and I was in school. It was full time, 4 days a week, 8 to 5, and I had a lot of people saying that I would fail because I was pregnant, and that just fueled my fire to prove them wrong. Like, and I'm totally that person. I'm going to prove you wrong
Yep.
100% of the time. Like, if you tell me I can't, I'm going to show you I will.
I totally
Um,
relate to that, Angie.
yeah, like it's just, I mean, moms, we have to do it, right?
Mhm.
So I graduated with President's Honor Roll from massage therapy school. I took 2 weeks off. Kiara's due date kind of changed around a little bit. I was due in January, like they originally told me the 1st, then the 15th. I ended up having her on the 21st. I was 41 weeks, 5 days. She did not want to come out. Man, oh
Oh my
man.
God.
So I took 2 weeks off, and then I rejoined back into the program that February, graduated in April, started working. And at that point, I knew I wanted to help heal people. I thought holistically was where it was at. But then you add in the stigma of massage therapy. Ooh, you do happy endings, or, things like
Yeah.
that. I actually was assaulted at one of my jobs. And so that kind of nixed that. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I left that and went to work in a call center. I just put my head down. I had to grind. I had to get that money. I had to provide for my daughter and help my husband. I didn't want him carrying the load. So I worked in a call center for 3 years and decided, hey, I'm going to go back to school. And I started doing prerequisites for mortuary science and found out I was pregnant with kiddo number 2. I was like, oh no. So I quit school because I was like, there's no way I can do a full-time mortuary program while having an infant. It's just not feasible because I want to be able to give him the attention I wasn't able to give my daughter,
Yeah.
because I did go back to school right away after she was born. I didn't have that bonding time with her. And so I went back to be a medical assistant when he was 1. So I became a certified medical assistant and certified phlebotomy tech. I completed that in 1 year, also got President's Honor Roll. And after that, I was working in oncology here in Lawrence. And the providers that I was working with, they're like, you are so much more than a medical assistant. Like, you really need to be a nurse. Like you have that drive. You need to do it. You're so smart. And I was doing research, and all the schools I was coming across, financially, it just wasn't smart. And so I kind of let my dream die in the water for a little while. And I was like, no, I need to really pursue this. So I did some more research, and I found Neosho County Community College had an associate's program, and I had already done like half of the prereqs that I needed. And I just needed to do another little chunk of prereqs before applying. And that's what I did. So here we are.
Holy crap, Angie.
Yeah, non-traditional at all.
So when you started nursing school, was there obviously, holy hell, that it sounds like you had to move mountains to be able to not only
Yeah.
focus on your kids, focus on your partnership, but
Boss
also
babe.
focus literally boss babe, Angie, holy shit. But what I'm curious about too is what year did you start nursing school? Like, were
I
you
started in 2021.
2021? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Were you the same age as your colleagues in your cohort?
It was kind of a mix of people. We had like a few people older than me. I would say like maybe 3 or 4 that were older than me, and then a good chunk that were younger than me. and no kids, no like heavy duty responsibilities. They still had
Yeah.
parents like helping them out and stuff like that. I
Little
personally never
fuckers.
had parents helping me out, right? I was salty, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
man, why are you complaining that you don't have time to do homework? Like, what?
What else do you
So,
have to do, you know?
exactly. Exactly.
Um, I think this is something that Matt and I have talked about in prior episodes, and it's just one thing that I want to highlight too, Angie, because it's so easy to get caught up in this like race of, well, I'm this age and everybody else my age is doing different
Mm-hmm.
things. Like I'm comparing myself to people I graduated high school with, or people that I
Mm-hmm.
met in college, or, you know, whatever, that are the same age as me. Or for me, I had this expectation like, oh, when I turn 22, 22 sounds like a really good age to get married and settle down and start having kids. You dumb bitch. You don't even know what you're talking about. So I'm always interested in asking, you know, as you're going through this nursing program, you are obviously at this point not a stranger to fucking putting your head down and grinding out, like grinding. Like that is no foreign concept to you at this point. But I'm always interested in talking to other people to see if they also have felt at any point in their adult life like they've had uh, this this pressure where like you're the only one that's putting it on yourself, but you feel like you have this expectation that you're supposed to have all your shit together because it looks like everybody else does too.
Yes. I feel like with Kenny and I being like non-traditional, you know, having kids straight out of high school, and then me kind of bouncing around job to job, career to career. Like he's been the rock. Like he has been the one steadfast thing. Like he worked at Home Depot for like 8 years. And then from there, he's went to the city of Lawrence to be a trash man. Like he started off as a loader and then became a driver. And he's truly been my rock through all of this and like the support system. But like all through nursing school, I'm like, I have to do this because if I don't do this, our family cannot achieve that next goal. We cannot like move forward in life if I don't pass this LPN exam, if I don't pass this RN exam. So there was an immense amount of pressure, and it affected my mental health tremendously that first semester because it wrecked my world. Because nursing school, I don't know if anyone's told you, is a monster of its own kind. It is not like traditional school where you read a book and you learn the definitions and you apply the definitions. Nursing school is very much, we're going to teach you this concept, and then we want you to use critical thinking on how to apply said concept and which orange is more orange. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was intense.
So I'm gonna circle back only because I have a story that like I can relate to your like being older because I went to school at an older age, and I was one of like maybe 7 or 8 like older people, but I was the only one that had like my wife and kid with me. I went to a
Mm-hmm.
Votech school in Laramie, Wyoming, which is the middle of fucking nowhere. There's nothing to do there. There's Wyoming University and there's Wyotech, which is where I went, and that's fucking it. And then there's like, you know, mountains to go do things on. So they'd be
And
like,
lots
"Hey,
of
are you coming
snow.
to?" Yeah, and lots of snow, lots of snow and cold. So it's like, you know, hey, are you coming to that party? Are you gonna do this? And it's like, nah, I gotta go home, you know. And they're like, man, you're such an old man, dude. It's like, hey, man, whatever. And then they come to school hungover or like not wanting to apply themselves, and I'm getting like flying through my work, and it's like, yeah, because like I'm here for the reason I need to be here. You're here to try and
Mm-hmm.
figure out who you are. I've already figured out who I am, and I know where I want to go. And fucking around with you little fuckers is not like what I need in my life. Go away.
Right.
But also I just wanted to ask Angela, the RN, how does that feel?
It feels so surreal and like going back to my car because it's my baby. Signing the paperwork, signing my life away. It was really hard not putting RN at the end of that when I was signing the paperwork. But
You
I love
earned
it.
Do
that.
it. Yeah. Well, we talked about momness, we talked about work, and we talked about loss. Let's talk about you and fun, particularly the shirt you had made and how that went over for your graduation.
Everybody loved it. So, Kaitlin, I don't know if Matt told you, but I got my husband a shirt with like 6 pictures of my face all over it, and then across like the top, like right here, it said Angela, and I made him wear it to my graduation.
10 out of
Um,
10.
Yeah,
right.
I
love it,
love
love
it.
it, right, love it. That made me happy to see, and like knowing him, uh, it was like I like the smile on his face in the picture you posted is just
Right.
like it's like yep, that's I love it.
It's
You two have,
iconic, Kenny.
it really is. You two have always seemed to have fun together. You know, what's been the key to that?
Just being like open and available, being willing to communicate and have those tough discussions, and just listening to hear the person, not listening just to respond, like actually hearing that person. I feel like has helped us a lot, and I feel like just we've grown up together. We're best friends. Like it's just we've learned to know what each other is thinking, and we can finish each other's sentences, and all the cute like little corny things.
That's really sweet.
It
Yeah.
is. Um, I don't think I've ever seen you or run into you anywhere where like the two of you aren't like, you know, excitable. Where you run into some couples and you can tell that they're just like going through it and they really are not happy with just existing in that moment. And it's like,
Hmm.
man, I don't want to stop you and talk to you, but like whatever. But anytime I've seen you like running into you as you were like trying to run out of Target, that like the last time I saw you guys, it was just such a funny I could run into you anywhere, and it's going to be a fun moment. It's not going to be like
Yeah.
a, well, I'm glad we got the fuck out of there. Hopefully it goes both directions, but it's just one of those things. If you're okay with it, I want to get really like personal for a second.
Hmm.
But this being the kind of medium that it is, it's hard to like convey emotion in the way that
Hmm.
like can connect. But because I've known you for so long, hopefully you'll know that this is like sincereness. But first thing first, how I know you is when I moved to Kansas, I moved in 8th grade. So like for a lot of people, that's when they are like they've locked in their like lifelong friends and they're getting ready to start their high school career, and that's the people that they're gonna be with for forever. And
Hmm.
then I was snatched from that and
Hmm.
transplanted into a small town where everything was different. I didn't know where, how, what to be because nothing that I knew was here. And one of the first people that like was like, "Hey, what's up?" and really connected with me in a way that like made me feel like, damn, okay. And then started hanging out with me, inviting me to go hang out places, and then just like rolling around with them, was Kenny, your husband. And
Hmm.
that's one of those things where like I am forever indebted to him simply because like that was a time in my life where I literally had nobody. So he
Hmm.
was the first somebody to show up, and you know for that I would go to the end of the earth for the dude just simply because. And flash forward to sitting across from you at the lunch table, hating each other's guts for reasons aforementioned, but we we got to know each other, and I'm glad that you opened my eyes to a different subset, and I'm glad that I got to know you and got to know you in such a like, I don't want to say vivid way, but like such a like, so I've seen you grow, and
Hmm.
I, like I said, I love that. But
Thank you.
one thing that I wanted to say, I guess I have two things, but the first thing is, you have very sassy, I'm me, and it's like a beautiful
Hmm.
attitude. And those things are like imprinted on you, and once somebody gets to know you, I don't know how they could see you as anything else but like a like badass and fucking awesome. So like there's that. But there was two moments that like I was super proud to like be your friend. uh in high school, one, I guess, in high school, you had a shirt that the back was exposed, and you rocked the hell out of it, by the way. I remember having a conversation with Kenny, and he said, and I don't know if you know the story or not, but he said,
I don't think I do. I'm like,
he said, I'm glad she's wearing it because she said it makes her feel sexy and good. So we don't care what anyone else says. And that was a moment that changed everything about like how I viewed you, because he viewed you and held you in such high standard even then, that I was like, okay, this is somebody I have to take seriously. This isn't just somebody that's like,
Mm-hmm.
messing around or whatever. And, I try not to mention it because like it is a sore subject for me, but like at that time I was dating somebody that like, or like talking to somebody that like the rest of the group didn't necessarily like care for or like
Mm-hmm.
necessarily. So like, to me, seeing him go to bat for you made me feel better about being like, you know what, I'm not going to hang out with you guys because I care about this person more in this time.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that made me really proud to be both your friends, but to like to get
Mm-hmm.
to know you. And like I said, I don't know if you ever heard that story, but like I said, he went to bat for you and said, "Nah, fuck that. She likes this shirt. She feels good
Shout
about
out
herself."
to Kenny. Kenny sounds
Right.
awesome.
He is kind of cool.
Yeah. And then number two, like I said, this is the personal side, I guess, but when you took and posted like a couple of the boudoir like pictures that you took, and I remember messaging you about it's like I think it might still be your profile picture on
It
something,
is
but
on Instagram.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you were like, you can't see anything, and that was one of those moments where like as a guy and as a like developing human, I was like, damn, she's proud of this thing, and she doesn't care what it's about. And again, that was a
Mm-hmm.
moment I was like super proud of you, and you changed my outlook on something. And it's just like, God. So like those things to me are just two drops in a bucket of like how awesome you are and why you fit this bill of being a boss babe, because you walk your path, you have a spine, and you're imparting all of those things on your kids and everybody I would assume you interact with, because like I said, you don't fuck around. So
Yeah, it's not easy. It's a lonely world at times, being the person that I am, to be 100%. But thank you for the compliments. I appreciate it. I did not know the Kenny story, and I do still have the photo as my Instagram profile picture. It's like a shadow boudoir photo, and I'm fully clothed in it, actually. So yeah,
Badass.
I have t-shirt and pants on, everything. So, but like the way my niece took the photo, it is very hard to tell. So yeah,
it's an awesome picture.
yeah, it is.
I
I'm
like
very proud of it.
it. So you kind of just mentioned it, but like, what does it take for you to love yourself?
Oh, that's still a work in progress, to be
As it should
100%
be.
honest. I have definitely seen my growth in the last like 5 to 10 years, and I honestly feel like my daughter has helped me a lot in that, because I tell her things to be supportive of herself, and I don't want to tell her something that I shouldn't be believing myself. So I feel like honestly, she has helped me more than she even begins to understand. So,
I love that. It's almost like you're writing the book as you go, but you have to be the book at the same time, because otherwise the
yes,
pages mean nothing.
yes.
Parenting, yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly.
I've already had a couple moments like that with my 2.5-year-old daughter, where I'm like, you know, uh, back in therapy, all the fun things, but like, reminding her she's got a bully in her class at daycare right now. Like, you have every right to defend yourself and protect yourself and be a good friend and be there for other people. And realizing that, like, I'm not showing up like that for my own friends, but my 2.5-year-old toddler is having an easier time of doing that
Right.
right now than what I'm doing. So,
Do as I say, not as I do.
oh, absolutely. And then when it comes to like self-love, self-care, body image stuff, I'm already very intimidated by how I'm going to approach those topics with my daughter, because of course I'm going to show her so much more grace than I allow myself to show myself. Have you had any conversations with your daughter about body image or, like
Yes.
self-love? What do those look like?
So she thinks she's fat, and I'm like, no, you're not. Like, because I didn't. So my parents are quite a bit older. My mom just turned 76 last week. Um, my parents were very old school, type of raising, things like that. Like my mom was not an encouraging mom. She was she was a hard worker and she was there for me, but it wasn't like that nurturing feeling.
Mm,
Um, and so I'm trying really hard to have that with my daughter where there is that encouragement and, there is the positive self-talk, like, hey, we're not going to call ourselves fat. Like, let's be mindful of what we're eating. If we think we're getting fat, let's be mindful of what we're eating. Like, you can't eat 12 Reese's and go to bed.
darn
Like,
it.
you can have two and then, right? Have two and then go walk around the block, whatever. So I try to like give that like the pros and cons and positive reinforcement and not just be like, no, you have to go work out for 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Like,
Yeah,
I don't want her to get the opposite kind of complex. Like, I want her to love herself and just respect herself and like know her worth because it's more than just the exterior. And I honestly could not ask for a better kid. She is absolutely amazing. And she recently has a boyfriend. And yeah, we went to like her well child appointment. And like, so my daughter suffers from depression. And we were at her well child appointment, and her doctor came in, and she had been with her boyfriend probably for about 2 months. And her doctor was like, Kiara, this is the happiest I have ever seen you. Mind you,
Oh,
this woman has watched my daughter grow up. And she was like, this is the absolute happiest I have seen you. Like, you're smiling, you're talking, you're looking at me, everything like that. And I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. Like, yeah, the boyfriend has a part in that, but like things that I'm teaching her along the way, because that's going to roll into her relationships in the future. I'm like, things are working.
absolutely.
Like, the puzzle pieces are coming together, even though it doesn't feel like it.
that's one of those, you know, again, like why you're so perfect to be on is you've been through the ringer and you still have I'm trying to fight and make it to the other side attitude about it. And I personally love that. That's what we want to, inspire people when they listen to this. If you're listening to it on a Monday, it's like Monday motivation and you're just like, damn,
Yes.
maybe I'm not doing as bad, or maybe I can do, this thing that I thought was, not well. But
Or I'm right where I need to be.
exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
I wanted to ask, uh, what things help you, keep a relationship alive so well, as long as, you and Kenny have been together. Like, what is the thing that keeps the spark?
Man, I mean, there's all kinds of things. I mean, but they're so, like, to me, they're like so minimal. But like, I'm a simple person. Like, I don't require, like, I'm not a very needy person. I'm not like, I need all the diamonds and jewelry. I need all the designer handbags. Like, I don't want that. Like, I just want your time. Presence is way more valuable to me than presents, if that
Mm,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yep.
absolutely.
So him and I, like, so in this coming December 2024, we will be together 20 years. Man, 2 decades. That's a long
Yeah.
time. It
Wow.
does not
Yeah.
feel that long.
Wow.
But we still, like, once a week, him and I will just go to dinner, just him and I, no kids. We'll just go to dinner, we'll talk, we'll like take a drive. He shows me the new parts of town because I stay in my little 4 mile radius, dropping kids off and going to work. And so he'll take me around town and show me all the new things that are going on. And we'll just like talk. And, another key piece is every single day, regardless of the day that I'm having or he's having, when he gets home and he walks in the door, I'm like, how was your day? And just giving that time to like just decompress and like vent it out. And like, if you've had a shit day or you've had a great day, you saw something exciting, like just giving that space and that time um to be heard and valued, I think is very key.
um, I think that all of those are like good examples of it doesn't take much. It just takes, the effort that your partner needs. And that's one thing that I feel like I've always seen the two of you do really well for each other. And part of that is maybe 20 years, but also part of that is, just finding your person. And, to me,
Yeah.
I feel like you found your person.
Yep.
So you have made it through, and now we're at the this or that. You ready?
Oh no. Yes. I'm
Congrats,
ready.
Angie. You've made it this
Ooh,
far.
I did it.
All right. So the first question is finding nursing sooner or finding it when you did?
When I did.
I like it.
Do you want me to elaborate? Or
Yeah,
is
you
that
can.
it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
absolutely.
I just feel like if I feel like if I would have done it sooner, so say I did it immediately out of high school instead of in my 30s, I don't think that my relationship would have been as strong as it is. I really feel like my life went the path that it went because I needed that strong foundational plan and route. And if in my teens, like 18, 19, 20, Kenny and I were just figuring each other out. We were still growing up. Like, I don't think that I would have been successful. I don't know if I would have passed, or if I would have passed and been successful, would my relationship have been successful? There's all those what ifs, and I am grateful for doing it at this point in my life instead of earlier.
Hmm.
Yeah. I assume that was going to be your answer because every time I've asked something similar, it's always like I wouldn't have been at the place I needed to be at to be able to do what I did if I didn't go through all that other stuff first. So good answer. All right. Next one. The best mom day or the best wife day?
The best mom day would be my kids not whining about something or bickering with each other about something. Like, we're all just enjoying ourselves and like being in the moment and not being like overly needy. Because again, I'm not a needy person. So just taking it for what it is. I think that would be the best mom day.
Okay.
I like it. All right. So last one. This is the big one. All right.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right. Agreeing to this interview again or telling me to kick rocks?
I would 100% agree to this interview again. It was way easier than I thought it was going to be. I was like, I had like the queasy stomach coming
Oh
into
gosh,
it. Like,
Angie,
oh,
no.
Performance anxiety,
I said I'd take care of you, and I'm glad that it was easier than you thought. I think that going into this, like, little known fact, before like a me and Kaitlin episode, I'm a little less nervous because it's just us having conversations and we have a little bit of a plan on what we're going to talk about. But going into an interview right before I let the guest into the studio, that is the most nervous I've ever been, and every single time, it doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter what it is. Like leading up, like maybe 10-15 minutes before, it's just like the same feeling because I want to do good and I want to take care of you. I want to make sure that like I'm doing everything to do right by you. So, like I said,
I
I'm glad
appreciate the opportunity.
Good. Hopefully, we touch some people with the message here of keep grinding because
Yes.
That's what you said is you've been grinding ever since, and unfortunately it bees that way, but
Right.
It's not all bad.
Yeah, it's not all bad. And another thing for nursing school is you're never too old. Like, please don't ever tell yourself you're ever too old to go back to school for anything, not just nursing school, but anything. You're never too old. So,
hey, just at me next time. Thanks.
Right.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for having this conversation with us. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. It was a pleasure. It was so smooth. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
The bell is about to ring. If you want to drop us a voice message or simply ask a question, you can do that by clicking the link in the show notes below. Be sure to leave us a 5-star review. It helps more people find us. Theme music by Kinsey. More music available on Spotify. Remember, every day is a class. Go learn something.